Mishkoze.
Vatsatste.
Bia, Shake.
We are strong.
Welcome to We Are Strong, Toronto Council Fire's BIPOC youth-led podcast, where we address systemic issues that we, as BIPOC youth, resist against every day. By highlighting the inequities faced in urban spaces, we hope to inspire a new generation of youth to be empowered to speak on their experiences with hopefulness and pride all across Turtle Island.
Hello, everybody at Nathan Phillips Square. Welcome to day 2 of our legacy celebration. My name is Farah. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Youth Wellness Navigator at Toronto Council Fire.
And I'm Idalia Boyer, and I'm the youth co-host this morning. We are joined with Ava Hil live at Toronto Council Fire's Legacy Gathering at Nathan Phillips Square. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
Yawa.
So we have some questions that we would like to ask you, but first, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you?
Sego, Yoho Haji Nayangats. Yoho Haji is my traditional name, and it means along the path. I am from the Six Nations of the Grand River, Haudenosaunee. I was born and raised there. I've spent a lot of time away from the community working in different organizations like the Chiefs of Ontario, the Assembly of First Nations. I even lived in Saskatchewan for a while on a Dakota Indian Reserve. But I went back to my community and I was on the elected council there for 15 years. I was a councillor for 9 years and I was the elected chief for 6 years. And in November of 2019, I decided not to seek re-election and I'm retired.
Wow, amazing. And what is your role and responsibility to the community?
Well, as I said, I'm retired. That was 2 years ago, but I sometimes seem to think I'm busier now than when I was having a full-time job. During COVID, of course, everybody was staying home, so I had the opportunity to just stay home and clean my house and purge my house like everybody else did. But then a year after that, I started getting more involved. And I'm so glad to be sitting here with 2 young women, and because I'm working with the youth and I like to work with them mainly in the area of sports. I'm sitting on a number of boards right now. I sit on Right to Play board, which partners with communities and trains community mentors to help the youth and to teach the youth leadership skills and to teach them how to deal with adverse situations. And I'm also on the Commonwealth Sport Canada board. I'm on the Brock University board of trustees, and just recently I was honored to get an honorary doctorate from Brock University, which was a real surprise to me because I never ever had the opportunity to go to post-secondary. And my daughter also graduated. I have one daughter and she graduated from Brock University in 2007. And I've been working with Council Fire. As I said, Andrea is my best friend and she always gets me involved in Council Fire, so I consider myself part of the Council Fire family. And helping out with the Federal Indian Day School program, and of course Gordon Peters is my co-MC. We seem to be co-MCing all the events for Council Fire, particularly with relation to the Spirit Garden. So I'm keeping pretty busy.
Ava, that's incredible. It's so nice to hear so much about you and to finally get to meet one of the MCs of the event. We've been hearing your voice in this tent all day, so it's really nice to put a face to the voice. And we wanted to ask you, so the theme of this event is revillagizing, and revillagizing comes in many different forms. So for us, it's about empowering our future generations through peace, righteousness, and power. And we do that through understanding the ways of our ancestors and the ways of the people that came before us. So what does revillagizing mean or look like to you?
Well, just exactly what you were saying is empowering the young people, you know, and getting them to, because I do many speaking engagements, and I always say that the young people who are coming behind us are more knowledgeable, you guys are smarter, you're more capable, and you're more aggressive, and you're not afraid. And my message to you is network and always get out there and don't be afraid to speak up and ask questions. And I think that part of revillagizing is that we get all of our youth to do that. But let's be positive. let's do it. You know, over the years, due to residential school, we've lost a lot of our culture. And I know in my community, a lot of the young people are getting that language back. They're taking part in the ceremonies and the tradition. And I think that, you know, the more that we do that, and I think that that's revillagizing. And we've had breakdowns in families. And so we need to bring all of that back. We need to break that cycle and get the young people on the right path. And because they are the future leaders. So you've got to start thinking about what your visions are going to be as the future leaders, and how you're going to help bring your communities back to what they were before colonization and before the dark part of the residential school era. So you guys have the capabilities, you have the knowledge, as I said, and so you know, us older folks are behind you, there to provide you and give you the support that you need.
Thank you so much. It does feel very empowering to have such role models leading us in community. And so you did talk a little bit about it, but do you have any more messages or a piece of advice that you would like to leave with community today?
Well, my message to everybody is here, and I think I've talked about it in my opening remarks, is that, you know, we as Indigenous people have a rich history and a rich culture, very rich, and we're very proud of our culture, and I encourage everyone to share it. We're in Toronto, which is a diverse city, and let's, you know, share our culture, but also learn other people's culture. Because as they said in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, that the more we learn about each other and the more we understand each other, maybe we can start to eliminate the stereotyping and the discrimination that exists in the world today. You know, the residential school survivors told us the truth. So now it's time for reconciliation. But reconciliation is more than just a word. It's the action. We need action to change behaviors, to change attitudes, and to change understandings. So I just encourage everybody to take that step and try and learn more about each other. And let's learn to be nicer to each other and to love each other and to understand each other. Yawa.
And what other moves or steps do you take to break barriers between communities, just like the things that you're doing today?
I'm still invited to do a lot of speaking engagements, to speak to Rotary clubs. I spoke to, you know, during September 30th, I spoke at Guelph. I go wherever I'm invited to speak because I think it's important to pass that message on and to educate people. And when I spoke in Guelph, I took a couple of residential school survivors with me. So, you know, I say just keep passing that message, particularly to non-Indigenous people, and ask them to pass that message on to their family and friends, and pass it on and pass it on, so that eventually we all get that understanding, but get the right facts.
So
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. Definitely, solidarity is one of the most important and most beautiful things that we can engage with together throughout the celebration, but just in life.
Yeah.
So lastly, are you excited about being the MC for the
I'm always
celebration?
excited to be here. Yeah, it's been a long day, but I'm excited. Gord is a good friend of mine. He's also a best friend. Andrew and Gord are both my best friends. And, you know, Gord and I are, we have a good time up there, and we make sure, you know, I know a lot of the entertainers from Six Nations. So, yeah, we're having a good time. It's a long day and a long night, but it's well worth it. So I'm really enjoying it.
And how does it feel to be best friends with such a fiery, strong person like Andrew and Chris John?
Well, I told you, I just introduced her, and I said it rubs off on people.
Yeah.
You got no choice but to be just as fiery,
Yeah.
just as passionate as she does.
Amazing. Well, you can find Ava on the big screen and on the stage all day. And we want to say thank you so much for joining us today. It's been such a pleasure to meet you. And would you like to say anything, Idalia?
all of your words were fantastic. I love the way you prescribed them and everything. Thank you so much.
And thank you, young ladies, and I wish you all the best, and keep giving her.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Yawa.